Activists claim that President Biden is allowing Israel to operate with impunity despite his warnings against an assault on Rafah. Washington, D.C. 7 months into Israel's devastating war on Gaza, President Joe Biden issued a rare warning to the U.S. ally in early May. He stated that Washington would not provide bombs and artillery shells for an Israeli invasion of Rafah in southern Gaza. However, the recent attack in Rafah, resulting in the deaths of an estimated 45 people, has cast doubt on the credibility of Biden's red line. The assault targeted a cluster of tents sheltering displaced Palestinians. Ahmed Abusnaid, director of the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights, USCPR, expressed his disappointment. "It is deeply disappointing to see President Biden continue to allow Israel to operate with impunity." He criticized Biden's red line as a hollow promise, suggesting it undermines his political strength. Despite Sunday's bloodshed and Israeli tanks advancing deeper into Rafah, U.S. officials maintain that the offensive is limited, not the full-scale assault Biden warned against. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller reiterated this stance, downplaying the scale of the military operation. Palestinian rights advocates argue that the Biden administration is redefining what constitutes an invasion to avoid acknowledging the offensive. Yasmin Taib, legislative and political director for Empower Change Action, described Biden's red line as absolutely meaningless, criticizing his continued Gaza policy. Following Sunday's bombing, another attack near Rafah on Tuesday killed at least 21 displaced Palestinians. Mohammed Harbe from American Muslims for Palestine also condemned Biden's red line as meaningless, noting the ongoing failure to hold Israel accountable. Although the U.S. briefly withheld a shipment of heavy bombs to Israel earlier this month, raising hopes among rights advocates, this optimism faded as the Biden administration approved a $1 billion weapons transfer to Israel, reaffirming its ironclad support. The Center for International Policy renewed calls to withhold weapons from Israel after the deadly attack. Dylan Williams, CIP's Vice President for Government Affairs, urged Biden to halt arms immediately, calling the mass killing of civilians exactly what President Biden said would be unacceptable. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu labeled the attack a tragic mistake and promised an investigation. At a State Department briefing, Miller also called the massacre heartbreaking, attributing it to a fire rather than Israeli bombardment, and stated that the U.S. would monitor Israel's investigation. Harbe criticized this reliance on Israeli investigations as a tactic to delay accountability, giving the U.S. time for the controversy to subside. As the violence in Gaza continues, advocates say it is clear that the Biden administration has no intention of changing its approach, despite statements against the invasion of Rafah. Maybe Biden's concerns for the Palestinians have floated away along with the port that they were building along the coast of Gaza, Abusnaid said, referencing a marine hub damaged. If you liked this story and would like to stay up to date with news events from around the whole, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell.